And Venus is back. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. I'm your host, Good Energy. Venus Williams, the most decorated Olympic tennis player, male or female, there is. Listen, guys, she's back. 7 Grand Slam titles. And of course, she had to come back for grass season, right? She plays her best tennis on grass. She has numerous undefeated grass seasons. Now, listen, she does have 7 Grand Slam titles, but the reality is she hasn't been healthy in over a decade. Let's take a look at a healthy Venus Williams. I have her, I'd say probably 6 or 5 on the all-time great list, and that's just because the injuries, guys. She still has an 80% win rate for her career, guys. Every 10 matches she played, she won 8 of them. That's like me with my predictions. That's insane, guys. And she hasn't had probably a good season in 10 years. Unbelievable. Now let's take a look at the injuries, right? If Venus Williams didn't have the injuries, I'd say she'd probably have at least 12 Grand Slams. Take Serena out of the equation, she'd probably have 25 Grand Slam titles. Let's just be honest, guys. The reality is, I remember a time when Venus Williams was the woman on tour. Before Serena came out of her shadow, it was all about Venus and American tennis. Venus is big time. I say it all the time. These new tennis players couldn't sell out the local tennis recreation club. Look at these people that are packed in to see Venus Williams. There's not an empty seat in the house. And she hasn't played in how long? Just coming back. She is big time. Venus Williams is a huge draw, and a lot of the newer tennis players, or younger tennis players rather, they complain about attendance and no one shows up to the matches. Well, you gotta be Venus Williams. You gotta be classy, graceful in defeat. I've never seen a top tier player that loses and is just so graceful. She hugs her opponent, she smiles, she's happy for her opponent when they do well. Venus is classy. This is what tennis players is all about, just being a great woman on and off the court. She's an amazing person. And we take a look at someone like Coco Gauff, who's coming up in the shadows of Serena and Venus. There's a lot of pressure on Coco to win slams, but the reality is they will come. You're following big footsteps in terms of American tennis. And we have Alicia Parks in the mix too. Alicia Parks, Coco Gauff, they are the future of American tennis. Look, you guys remember Serena and Venus called Alicia Parks when she was 12 years old and said, "You are the next big thing." Remember Coco beat Venus at Wimbledon at 15 years old. She is the next big. She's the next big thing, without a doubt. Coco is the next big thing. It's going to take time though. But in terms of her age, none of these top 10 players have accomplished what Coco has at the age of 18, 19 years old. Coco's time is going to come. But right now, I think Venus has to close the door. Once Venus closes the door and calls it a career, I think that's when Coco's going to take off. And I think Coco's first title is going to be at Wimbledon. Look, it might even be this year. But nonetheless, Venus Williams on serve. She looks good, guys. What about her game? She can still baseline, okay? She can still serve. She can still hit balls. She's a professional tennis player, one of the greatest of all time. She knows how to hit balls. The only problem at this point of her career with the injuries is the vertical movement. When you get her moving vertical, then she has to stop, switch back to horizontal. That's when you can score points off of her. But if you're going to play tennis with her, you're going to be in trouble. Tennis in a Minute. We'll be back.